Is it possible for a house to hold more than just walls and a roof? Can it contain echoes of lives lived, of joys embraced, and of unspoken yearnings? Imagine a home, bathed in the soft light of dawn, where a man named Henry starts his day. 60 years young, they say, though his spirit carries a touch of ageless grace. He moves with the practiced ease of someone who has long chased wellness, a daily ritual to keep at bay the shadows of a past that time has yet to fully dim. Years ago, the laughter of his beloved wife was silenced in a tragic accident, leaving him a lone father navigating the choppy waters of parenthood. He raised his boys alone, watched them grow, until each found his own separate shore. His two sons, Lucas and Ryan, grew into their own men, each charting different courses for their lives. Lucas, the elder, a man of the sea, a sailor who tasted freedom in the vast, endless blue. His love for the ocean often kept him away from the home he shared with his wife, Charlotte. Ryan, the younger, chose a different path, a different rhythm, and built a separate nest with his own partner, choosing a life of constant adventure. Lucas made the choice to stay with his aging father, a sense of duty pulling at his heartstrings, though the sea called out more often than he liked. He knew the weight of his absence pressed heavily on his wife, each day a whisper of sacrifice, a silent plea for more time. Charlotte, Lucas's wife, was a beacon of warmth, a beautiful and graceful soul. She worked as a hotel receptionist, where her charm and gentle nature earned her the admiration of many. A poised woman with a style all her own, she was a master at balancing the different roles she had to play, from her work life to that of her wife's life. She yearned for the laughter of children, a dream her husband's sea life seemed to push further away with each passing day. She is aware of the sacrifice she has made for her love and the dream of a family, and is trying her best to make the most of the situation. She moved through her mornings with a quiet grace, the heart of the home, preparing breakfast for her father-in-law, each action a silent testament to her caring nature. Days unfolded like scenes in a play. In the Grand Hotel, she walked with the poise of one who was always aware of the eyes upon her. This time, the eyes of a wealthy, sophisticated guest. The lady was demanding, yet this is a part of her work that she has learned to handle with grace. Her smile never faltered, her actions as precise as the time she counted each day for her husband to come home. In the midst of the chaos, as she helped prepare a wedding, a quiet longing would sneak into her heart. She wondered of a day when she would have a wedding as grand as the ones she worked so hard to create, with the husband she loved at her side. Her dreams always drift to the future she always hoped for. She would return home to find the house quiet, Henry often away visiting friends. It is a place where the absence of her husband was most profound. She would call him in the evening to share their lives, he from the vastness of the ocean, and she from the solitude of their home. Lucas, his voice warm as it came through the phone line, would always reassure her, although the moments were always short and brief. She knew of her husband's love for the ocean as much as she loved him, and she would never ask him to choose. Yet the call was never quite enough. She would then move through the house with a purpose, preparing meals for her father-in-law, and silently wishing for the day she would start a family of her own. Henry watched her always. She moves with grace. Her laughter is music to his ears, and her warmth a gentle light that always seemed to touch the hidden parts of his heart. He envies his son, with his youthful physique and the way his wife seems to move around him. He's caught in a strange place, both admiring her and feeling a subtle sting of jealousy. He tried not to look, to resist her beauty, but he always found his eyes drawn to her. Her beauty is like the dawn to him, and he wanted, just once, to see himself bathed in her light. He is caught in a silent struggle between his love for his son and the subtle yearnings that started to stir within him. It wasn't something he would ever allow himself to pursue, but it was there, a flicker of forbidden hope in the dark corners of his heart. When Ryan visited with his wife, it was as though a part of the house came alive. They bought gifts for Henry, while he would always gently refuse them, a subtle lesson in humility. He couldn't bring himself to accept their generosity, always pushing them to save for their own future, a hope for the day they have children. However, he allowed his younger son and wife to gently usher him into a clothing shop, finding something special for him, a rare opportunity to be spoiled. As the night drew in, Henry would find himself alone in his room, and his mind would go back to Charlotte and her gentle nature and her loving care. He wonders, quietly to himself, if she was happy, or if he is just seeing what he wanted to see. One night, Lucas returned home early, and the house felt lighter. He brought with him tales of his travels, stories of far-off lands. Charlotte listened with a smile, trying to reach for him in the short time they had, but he was distracted by work. There was a silent plea in the air, an unspoken desire for them to have a life, a family. They talked about their lives and their longing to be together, unaware of the thoughts brewing in the heart of the old man just downstairs. They were caught in a whirlwind of emotions, while the house held its breath. In the kitchen, as Charlotte prepared a meal, she was like a vision in the soft light of the house. Henry would find himself drawn into her presence. He would try to ignore the feelings in his heart, but her scent, the gentle curve of her body as she moved, always sent him down a dark path. He struggled with this strange sense of yearning, longing to have a connection with someone who was not his. This was a dangerous game he was playing, his heart longing for something that can never be his. He was torn between his love for his son and the strange feeling in his heart. He watched as Lucas and Charlotte left for a night out, their joy a sharp pang of pain in his heart. He admired her beauty and her ability to dress in a way that brought out her best features. She was like a princess, and in her eyes, Lucas was her prince. They were the perfect couple, a picture of love. And he found himself an outsider, a silent observer of a life that was so close to him, yet impossible to touch. They drove off laughing, and the house became quiet again, the silence filled with untold stories and silent yearnings. Was it love? Was it admiration? Or was it a twisted version of something else altogether? The heart, like the house, often contains more than meets the eye, and sometimes its deepest secrets are found not in words, but in the quiet spaces between. The question hangs, like a melody unfinished, as we wonder how their stories will unfold. What happens when unspoken desires challenge the bonds of family, and the whispers of the heart grow too loud to ignore? What do you make of this story? What unspoken desires might you have seen reflected in your own life? Share your thoughts, reflections, and interpretations in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more stories that delve into the heart of human experience. Your perspectives are important, and we're excited to hear from you.